One of the things I look for when creating features in Beis HaSefer is the ability to automate things that are noticed and implicitly searched for by classic Mefarshim. It becomes especially interesting when the Perush states a general rule that can be applied to a wide range of cases in Tanakh. In this way, the Perush formulates a manual query which we can attempt to automate with our search tools. Let's examine an excerpt from Rashi on Bereishis Perek Daled Pasuk Tes. Rashi, Dibra Maskal al Shomer Achi, says, Lashon Temahu, V'chein kol hei hanakuda b'chatav patach. The Hey HaShe'ela is the Hey that asks a question. I'm going to develop this a bit by pretending to be ignorant about some unstated assumptions Rashi is making here. We will search for any occurrence in Tanakh where a chatav patach appears underneath the Hey by opening the virtual keyboard, selecting the Hey, and then selecting the chatav patach. To specify any word where this appears, let's put a wildcard character before and after the Hey. To ensure nakudos are included in the search, we click on the nakudos button to the right. When we click the search button on the left, we can see lots of psukim that contain this pattern. Are they all words with Hey HaShe'ela? The first few indeed are, including HaShomer in the pasuk that launched this discussion. However, we don't need to look far to notice matching words that break this rule. Harago, where the Hey is part of the word root. Mahalalel, where the Hey is part of a name. Vahakimosi, where the Hey is a prefix to the word root, but a grammatical prefix that comes before a verb that is of binyan hifil. Therefore, when Rashi states his rule, we will make an assumption that he is only referring to cases like HaShomer, where the Hey with the chatav patach occurs at the very beginning of a word. The Hey operates as a prefix, but not as a prefix to a verb which indicates binyan. While Beis HaSefer isn't fully accurate regarding grammar, it does give us tools to refine things in order to focus in on the search implied by Rashi's rule. The first thing we will do is to remove the leading asterisk from the Hey. Then we click on the Advanced Search button, and then select the Part of Speech tab. From here, let's first try selecting all prefixes, and ignore the question Hey for now, so as not to prejudice things. Next, under the word type, we select all types except verb. We will deal with verbs later, but we don't want to confuse things too much now. When the search button is clicked this time, it will reveal a much more accurate list to highlight Rashi's rule. In almost every case here, the Hey indicates a question, except for certain verbs beginning with Hey that Beis HaSefer has not yet categorized properly. What about Vayomer Hachi Kara Shemo Yaakov that we see in Bereishis Kav Zayin Lamed Vav? This highlights a case where Targum Onkelos interprets Hachi as Yaus, or a language of thus or fitting. On the other hand, Rashi there stays consistent to his rule, and he is forced to explain the word as an example of Hey HaShe'ela, and brings a proof from Bereishis Kaf Tes Vav, where Lavan says to Yaakov, Hachi Achi Ata, where both the Targum and Rashi agree that it's a Hey HaShe'ela. One thing to note here is that Rashi doesn't limit the existence of a Hey HaShe'ela to cases of Hey with chatav patach, and merely states the reverse, that Hey with chatav patach is a strong indicator of Hey HaShe'ela. He will recognize that for reasons of dikduk, that chatav patach will switch to a patach when preceding a shva, and will switch to a segel when preceding a kamatz. An example of three flavors of Hey HaShe'ela can be seen when we scroll down to Bamidbar Yud Gimel Yud Ches. He Chazak, Harafeh, Hama'at. One more thing regarding the capability of Beis HaSefer to detect Hey HaShe'ela from the Parts of Speech tab. When we clear out the settings for this tab by clicking the white Clear Tab button, and then select the question Hey from the prefix drop-down, and then click Search, until further improvements are made, this will only detect Hey HaShe'elah when associated with the verb, as we can see in the results here, with the first match being the pasuk where we started at Bereishis Daled Tes Hashomer Achi. I hope you found this to be helpful. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know at info@tari'ganalytics.com.